I'm on land of the castle. There's a farmhouse there. I don't see a door at the moment. It's marked as being in the middle of a field, so I'm going to have a look to see if I can find it. Sheep wandering away from me, so they obviously don't think I've got any food. This is the field that's marked as having a door, but I don't see a door erect here. I'll go further across the field, see if I can see something. Looks like there's an ash here that doesn't have the ash dieback. There's leaves coming out of buds here. This might be a hopeful ash. Well, I'm at the spot coordinated for the door, and there isn't a door here. I'll take a whirl around the landscape because I will phone up and talk about it from my home studio like the other doors that I visited today. The storytellers here are Emer and Don O'Connor. I'm not sure where they live, so I'm not sure if they're at the cottage there where I've parked, or there is a newer cottage way down there. They may well be in that one. So I'm just giving you a whirl around the landscape, but no doors to be seen. And there's my shadow. It's not even facing a door. So the hosts of the invisible door are Emer and Don O'Connor. I made the call to the Castletown door phone number, expecting to hear from Emer and Don O'Connor, and it started off with Orla. I gather Orla's a daughter or granddaughter, and she gave an introduction, brief introduction, and then Emer came on board and she introduced family members who were with her, because it was not just Emer and Don that were there for the recording, so she introduced them. So Emer started talking about her family and where they lived, who's who. She then went on to tell of an escaped Armada sailor and how he was given refuge in the area. Quite a famous person, I can't remember his name now, but the Armada Visitor Centre that's near Grange, they're full of that. But Emer then went on talking about that story, went on to talking about the castle, because it is Castletown. So she started telling us about some of the castle history. The thing that it was most famous for, it had the first keep of gunpowder in Ireland, the very first place to store gunpowder in Ireland. Emer, she talked about this, she did keep referring, look up the ancient annals, because that carries the information that she was talking about. And then after she'd made that introduction, Don came on board about his childhood and what he did then. And then it became a conversation between Don and Emer. There was someone else present, a jolly person. He came on board and joined in the conversation for a moment. I don't know who it is. And then Don and Emer's conversation went into sharing family stories and also about themselves and the family, little stories about their time working on the bog. One of the most entertaining things from their story was talking about a travelling shop that used to come to them. They didn't only just buy from the shop, but they also sold a lot of their eggs to this travelling shop for them to sell as they moved around. The next subject was about apple growing. A lovely little story. They talked about a government scheme that was going on where it was, I suppose it was grant supported. Emer and Don, they subscribed to it. And what it involved was picking up apple tree plants, bare root apple tree plants. They had to go to Manorhamilton, which used to have a train service. And there's no railway going through Manorhamilton now. There's certainly no train station there that I know of. They went to Manorhamilton, picked up their apple plants, their bare root plants, planted them. That scheme is sort of very much in the history, but Don did say they've got one of those apple trees still growing. It still produces well, but unfortunately I didn't get to see the apple. I probably would have looked around for the apple tree if I had phoned when I was on the spot. Never mind. Don and Emer then talked about other families that are living nearby or once lived nearby, talked about their origins, and they told little stories about deeds and quirky little things that they did. Some of those stories, a couple of those stories involved priests. And they also had stories of local army people, local army barracks, and the army people marching around nearby. And as they were talking about both the priests and the army, the word shocking was actually used quite a lot. Then after all that, they talked about the landscape that's around them. And as I say, there was no door. There was no reference to the door from them. But I assume there was a door. Maybe it blew down because we'd had storms a day or two before. And they thought, maybe no one else is coming. So it got picked up. So that's why I put the illusion of the door that's over there. There it is. There we go. So I'm pretending there's a door there. It says they talked about the landscape. They talked about the hedges, the crops that they grew, various crops. And that's about as far as they got, because they finished off with young Orla coming back onto the recording, and she talked a little about her veggie garden. She has a lot of pride for growing a little veggie garden. So that was it. That was the recording after you called on the phone at the door at Castletown. So thank you for listening to that. So that's me visited 20 of these Amach to the doors. Shall I visit the 21st? This last door that I'm going to go to said to be a 20-mile walk, 20-minute walk, not miles. I'll go to the entrance of it, have a look at it, and give some sort of review anyway. And I can sort of say I've visited 20 and a half doors at least. So thank you for watching this, and see you near or at door 21. Bye.